नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीम् उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिरभवती नैष्टकी। नंदराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। So going to read one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 26th chapter, titled as The Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. Here, Kapiladev is instructing to his Mata Devhuti about how the different materials are created. So, we are going to read shloka number 35 to 46, in which Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about the creation of gross elements. Now, there are 24 elements of the Mother Nature, which includes 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, and ether. These are called as gross elements. And then there are subtle elements like mind, intelligence, ego, consciousness. All these are subtle elements. Sense objects, and then the senses. The sense objects includes like touch, smell, sound, uh, and then heat, cold. All these are objects, sense objects. And then the senses of those sense objects are like indriyas. Indriyas are the karmendriyas and gnanendriyas. The karmendriyas are 5, and the gnanendriyas are also 5. So in this way, there are 24 elements of material nature. Out of this, here Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about how these gross elements, which is the earth, water, air, fire, and ether, are formed, are explained in the shloka number 35 to 46. These are also called as Pancha Mahabhutas, and our body is composed of these Pancha Mahabhutas. And these Pancha Mahabhutas, they emerge from the subtle elements, which are called as Tanmatras. So here, Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about this, how these Pancha Mahabhutas are formed. So here in the shloka number 35, which is the first shloka of this series, where Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti how Vayu, which is the one of the subtle elements, and one of the sense objects is the touch. So how they originates. So here the shloka says, अभी क्लास चल रहा है, बाद में करते हैं, क्लास चल रहा है। नभ शब्द तन मात्रात् कलगत्या विकुर्वतः स्पर्शो अभवात् ततो वायुस् त्वक् स्पर्श च संग्रह. So here Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti, Nabhas Shabda Tanamatras. Nabhas Shabda Tanamatras Kalagatya Vikurvataha. Nabha means ether. So Kapiladev is saying from ether, which is also called as Nabha or Akash, due to time's influence, touch, sparsha, and air, Vayu is manifested along with the skin, Tvaka. So here Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti that air, which carries the quality of touch and enables subtle interaction. So From the ether evolves the sound, and then with the under the influence of time, then the touch sensation is created, and thence the air and sense of touch becomes prominent. So from the ether evolves the sound, and then the sense of touch evolves. Okay. So then the next one, next shloka explains about how the what are the qualities of touch. So touch is mrudutvam, katinatvam cha, saitvam, ushnavatam eva cha, etat sparshasya sparshastvam, tanmatratvam nabhasvataha. So the qualities of touch are mrudutvam. Mrudutvam means softness. Katinatvam, hardness. Shaityam means cold. And Ushnatvam means heat. So these are the qualities. Softness, hardness, heat, and cold are the qualities of touch. But they are arising from the air, right? We feel heat or cold because of the air. Hmm? And again, this is all because we have a skin. That is why we can all feel the heat and cold and hardness and softness. So this is called touch sensation, right? And that originates from the ether and the air. Hmm? And next, Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Dehuti about the air. What are the functions of air? So he says, Chalanam vihanam pratir netratvam dravya shabdayo sarvendriyanam atmavam vayo karma bhi lakshanam. So the functions of air are uh, chalanam, moving, vihanam, mixing, and netratvam, carrying the things. Dravyam shabdaha, particles of sound are also carrying through the air. Sarva indriyanam, and all the senses, they are supplied life air by air. Actually, air is the one which sustains all the other body parts. So here, the air, it is mentioned that air facilitates the movement of the things around us, integration, mixing, coordination, and life force for all the senses. So this is air. So, so prana, vayu is the driving force for our life. Without our prana, we cannot survive. So is the driving force behind sensory and motor functions. Okay, and then about fire and vision. So here Kapila Devi is saying to Mata Devahuti, वायुश्च स्पर्शतन्मात्रात् रूपं दैवर्तद् अभूत् समुत्थितं ततः तेजस् चक्षुरूपल रूपोपलम्भम्. So here Kapil Dev is saying that from the subtle elements of touch and by divine arrangement, Rupa is manifested, leading to the evolution of Teja, fire, and the eyes, Chakshusha. So then this Vayu further with the help of touch leads to fire, and fire generates the light, color, visibility, which is essential for looking at the form of any living entities or any particular item, right? So this fire and vision are created. And Kapila Devi is further saying to Mata Devuti, द्रव्याकृतित्वं गुणत व्यक्ति समस्थवम् एव च तेजस्त्वं तेजसाध्वी रूपमात्रस्य वृत्तयः. So what are the qualities of the fire? The qualities of fire are shaping the matter, distinct qualities, localization, radiance, enabling perception of form. So the fire gives the shape and reveals the shape. Okay, it molds various items. Like for example, when we are cooking, the when the cooking happens, then under the influence of fire, then it manifests the different forms. You know. Like when the metal is also heated, the form of the metal changes. So the fire is the one which mm, changes the form or the shapes of any particular item. And fire heat radiates from the fire. Uh, and because of the fire, when we see the light, we can perceive the form of any particular objects. Yeah. So thus fire is shaper and revealer. It molds and illuminates. Then further in the shloka number 40, the functions of fire are mentioned. So the function of the fire is Dayotanam Pachanam Panam Adanam Hiva Mardanam Tejo Vrityasva Eta Shoshanam Kshad Trad Evacha. So the fire functions include illumination, digestion, stimulation, removal of cold, drying, generating hunger and thirst. These are some of the functions of fire. So, fire governs both internal and external function, and it illuminates and digestion, stimulation, removal of cold. All these things are functions of fire. And further, Kapila Dev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about water and the test, how water is formed. So he says, Rupamatrad vikurvanat tejosdaiva cha udita rasamatram abhut tasmad ambho jiva rasagraha. So, from the transformation of form, water and taste, rasa is emerging along with the tongue. So, by the interaction of fire and visual sensation, the subtle element taste evolves under the supervision of superior authority. From taste, water is produced, and the tongue, which perceives the taste, is also manifested. So, water is the basis of the taste and the flavor, and it brings liquidity and cohesion. So, that is the function, origin of taste. And then the types of taste. So, here Kapila Devi is explaining Kashyo Madhura Tik Tataha Katva Amala Iti Naikadha भौतिकानं वाक्रेण रस एको विभिद्यते. So, taste has different types of taste, like uh, astringent, sweet, bitter, pungent, sour, salty, due to material variation. So, just like light refracts into many colors, one rasa divides into many experiences. So, that is rasa. And functions of the water. So, functions of water are क्लेदनं पिण्डनं तृप्त प्राण अपायनो दाननम् तपापदो नो भूष्यतमम् अम्भाशो वृत्तयः त्व इमान्. So water, characteristics of water are exhibited by its moistening other substances. Uh, Then it binds other elements by mixing, satisfies the water. Water is the one which satisfies our thirst. It nourishes us. It refreshes and elevates the heat. So these are functions of the water. So water is life-giving both physically and emotionally. So these are the some of the functions of water mentioned by Kapila Dev. Then the next one is origin of earth and smell. How the earth and smell are formed. So it's shloka number 44. रसमात्रस् विकुर्वाणात् अम्बसो दैवचोदित गन्धमात्रम् अभूत् तस्मात् पृथ्वीग्रणस्तु गन्धः. So from the test, smell evolved, resulting in earth and the origin of smell, granaha. So due to interaction of the water with the taste perception, the subtle element of order involves. Hmm, under the superior arrangement, and then earth and olfactory senses by which we can variously experience the aroma of the earth. So, earth is the most gross and subtle form of element carrying fragrance and form. And then what are the types of smell? So Karambha Puti Sar Saurabhya Shantogramalavidhi Pratak Dravavya Vaishayamyad Gandho Eka Vibhidyate. So smell manifests into different type ways like fragrance, stench, etc. due to the difference in material composition. So various types of smell, good smell, bad smell, like that. The smell is one, but appears variously based upon the substances which are mixed within the smell, right? So, Prabhupada is explaining that mixed smell is sometimes perceived in foodstuff prepared from various ingredients, such as vegetables mixed with different kinds of spices and asafoetida. Bad odors are perceived in filthy places. Good smells are perceived from camphor, methanol, and similar other products. Pungent smells are perceived from garlic and onion. Acidic smells are perceived from turmeric and similar substances. The original aroma is the odor arising from the earth. When it is mixed with different substances, this odor appears in different ways. So, in this way, various types of smells. And the last one is the functions of the earth. So, here Kapil Dev is explaining Bhavanam Brahmana Sthanam Dharanam Sadvisheshanam Sarvasattva Guno Bheda Prithvi Vritti Lakshanam. So, earth creates solid forms. It supports the existence and manifests diverse qualities among all the living entities. So, the characteristics of earth uh, can be perceived by molding of the forms, right? By constructing the places of residence, by preparing the pots to contain water, etc. In other words, the earth is the place of sustenance for all the elements in the material world. So, earth is the foundation of all the diversities. It supports, nourishes, and gives forms to all the life. So, in this way, different elements such as sound, sky, air, water, fire, everything can be perceived in the earth. Right? So, in this way, we learned about all the gross elements, how the gross elements are formed, are explained by Kapila Dev to Mata Devuti. So, in this way, very complicated matter subjects here, but that is very nicely explained by Kapila Dev. And why this is important for all of us to know is that all these elements are the basis of the material creation, right? So, more we know about the material creation, we can understand how God created this material world. So, with that, we'll pause here and we'll continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow. Vrindraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.